Why did the world's greatest investor suddenly bet billions? On Japan? Not Silicon Valley. Not AI startups. Not crypto. Japan. And not even famous tech companies. Warren Buffett bought massive stakes in old Japanese trading companies. To many Americans, this looked weird, because most people outside Japan barely understand what these companies even do. But Buffett saw something the world ignored. And honestly, it may explain why Japan is quietly becoming attractive again. Back in 2020, Buffett's company, Berkshire Hathaway, revealed it had bought over 5% of Japan's 5 biggest trading companies: Mitsubishi, Mitsui, Itochu, Sumitomo, Marubeni. Later, he increased those positions even more. This shocked investors, because Buffett usually avoids businesses that are too complicated. But then he visited Japan personally, and he said he was confounded by how cheap these companies were. That word matters. Confounded. Meaning these companies are so good and so cheap. I can't believe the market is ignoring them. That's classic Buffett. He loves boring companies that quietly print money. And Japan had exactly that, too. But here's where foreigners get confused. What exactly is a Japanese trading company? In Japan, they're called Sogo Shosha, and they are unlike almost anything in America. Imagine if Amazon, Exxon, Mobil, JP Morgan, and a global shipping company all merged into one giant corporation. That's basically a Japanese trading company. These companies invest in oil, natural gas, food, mining, convenience stores, EV projects, real estate, shipping, anime, salmon farms, even renewable energy. They are everywhere inside the Japanese economy. Most foreigners have never heard of them, but Japan literally runs on them. 3. And this is the part Western investors found fascinating. Japan has very few natural resources, very little oil, very little gas, very little land. So for decades, these trading companies became Japan's survival machine. They traveled the world securing energy, metals, food, and materials for the country. In other words, Japan built giant corporations, designed specifically to survive scarcity. That's extremely Japanese. And Buffett loves durable systems, especially systems that survive global chaos. 4. But Buffett didn't buy them because they were Japanese. He bought them because they matched his investing philosophy almost perfectly. Here's why. First, they were cheap. Very cheap. Buffett said some had earnings yields around 14%. That's massive for giant stable companies. Second, they paid strong dividends. Third, many were buying back their own shares, meaning shareholders were finally being rewarded more aggressively. And fourth, they looked a lot like Berkshire Hathaway itself. Huge diversified businesses, multiple industries, long-term cash flow, global partnerships. Even Buffett admitted they reminded him of Berkshire. Reuters, so from Buffett's perspective, this wasn't risky. It felt familiar. 5. There's another reason this story exploded online. Because for years, the global narrative about Japan was Japan is finished. Slow economy, aging population, no growth, no innovation. But Buffett ignored the narrative. Instead, he looked at the numbers. That's what legendary investors do. While many investors chased hype, stocks Buffett quietly bought boring Japanese giants. And then something happened. Japan's stock market started waking up again. Suddenly, the world started paying attention. 6. And honestly, there's something deeply ironic here. For decades, many Japanese people believed American investing was smarter. Meanwhile, one of America's greatest investors was buying Japan. Not for a quick trade, but potentially for decades. Buffett even said Berkshire may hold these investments forever. Reuters, that statement hit hard in Japan, because Japan spent years underestimating itself. But Buffett saw value hiding in plain sight. 7, and this might be the biggest lesson, the world often ignores things that look boring. Japan looks boring to many investors. Its companies look old, conservative, unexciting. But Buffett has built his entire fortune by buying things other people overlook. That's why this Japan investment matters. It's not just about stocks. It's about how value works. Sometimes the most powerful opportunities are hidden inside places the world stopped paying attention to. And Warren Buffett thinks Japan may still be one of them. And so the next time someone says Japan is stuck in the past, remember this. The greatest investor alive looked at Japan and saw the future.